Sydney here, Better Leads Boss, Better Leads Ads Agency. I'm going to go over with you all today the formula for starting ads, the formula for how much you should spend on ad spend, and really where you should get started when I get asked this question by every single private client that I have. I typically work with around 10 people at a time privately, and when we get into the part of where we're building sales funnels and building ads and stuff like that, I'm always asked, well, how much money should I spend on ads? Or how much, I want to get X amount of leads per day, like how much money should I start with spending on ads? And like, the thing is you really got to look at a couple of different things, right? When you're starting out with the ads, you want to make sure that you need to identify a couple of different things. So first of all, when you start spending money on ads or any type of marketing, okay, you need to ask yourself two questions. The first question is going to be, what is your target? So what is your target? What is your goal that you're looking to hit? So I work backwards and then work forwards to figure out my target, right? So like what I'll do is I'll say, like, for the Better Leads Box, our target is 10 new people in Better Leads Box a month this month, right? 10 new people in Better 10 new people, this month in the Better Leads Box, right? I mean, that's what our goal is. So then what we do is I say, okay, I want 10 people, and then I have the average number of leads that we need to get for one conversion. So I have this data. When we didn't have this data, I had to go off of other data, which a lot of people, they might not have the data. So then when they don't have the data, what we do is you take the average data from Facebook. So the average data from Facebook says that your average lead is going to cost you anywhere between $8 to $10. I like to play high, and I'd rather under promise and over deliver, right? So I'm going to say $10. So if your average lead on Facebook is $10, you then want to multiply that by 3. So multiply that by 300%. So you're going to multiply that by 3, and then you're going to divide that in half. So I jumped ahead a little bit. So the first two questions you want to ask yourself, what is the target that you want to reach, right? So what's that target? Do you want to, and that target can be leads, it can be sales, conversions, it can be new retention, new testimonials, it can be anything. We typically do sales, right? Now some people want leads, and it might be because they have a massive team and they want to say, I want 1,000 leads a month. I've had some clients, some car dealerships and stuff like that want that, right? Whereas like for a lot of people, it's like, hey, I want to get 2 new sales a month. 2 new sales a month changes a lot of people's lives. I mean, it really can. If you're making $500,000 a month and you're getting 2 extra sales a month, you're making that extra $1,000 to $1,500 a month. That makes you a lot of extra money, especially if you're only spending $300 to $500 a month. You're tripling your ad spend through ads. I mean, which is what you look for. I mean, like triple, quadruple your money. You put a quarter in, you get $1 out. I mean, like that. I'd fill that with as many quarters as I could, right? So anyway, so you want to make sure that you have that target. So you need to identify that target. Second thing you need to do is you need to identify the sales process. Marketing is not sales. Sales is not marketing. Okay. Leads are not sales. We call leads vanity, sales sanity. What I mean by that is sales is when you take money from someone to then provide them a service to help them. Leads is them raising their hand saying, hey, I'm interested in learning more. One is not the other. And a lot of people get that mistaken. You need to make sure that you identify a sales process. Is that sales process when you get a lead, you send them a text immediately from your phone? Maybe. Is it you calling them? We have a mixture of what we teach. We have some sales processes over here that work really well for specific niches. And these sales processes are based on exactly what it is that you might be selling. MLMs do really well with webinars, But financial, any type of educational type piece do really well with video. But then it has to do with the types of video that you're using. It has to do with how you're positioning this video to them and where they're at in their thought process when they hop on that video, right? So I mean, there's a lot of things that go into it. But again, you want to make sure you have your target. Then you got to identify that sales process. Then you want to go in and you want to identify what's called a KPI. It's called a key performance indicator. A key performance indicator is basically what is the best ad that you've ever ran and what it was the cost of that lead. And then you want to take that and multiply it by 3, divide it by 2. Basically 150% of whatever you're spending in ads whatever you're spending for a lead is what you want, on average, is what you want to use digitally. So if I go in there and, we look at it, I think our numbers are, we're spending around, I think it's like $513 or something like that, a lead for the Better Leads Box. So if I was starting this again for another product that was similar to the Better Leads Box and I would go in, I would look at my high KPI of Better Leads box on my phone, which is say it's like I think it's 513. And then I would basically multiply that by 1.5. So, you know, I would roughly get $7.70. So I might start running ads at $8, right? So, I mean, like that's how you would get started. And then when you get started that way, you know, scaling on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn and all these is one of those things where you're doing it step by step. You never want to take something from $10 and then take it up to $1,000. Facebook's going to freak out. It's not going to know who in the world to send this ad to. Right? So that's a big reason why you're building the audiences. That's a big reason why you're identifying these audiences and positioning these audiences to only show specific ads to certain audiences. I mean, like the Better Leads box, I mean, we have over like 60 audiences built, you know, and it's only 3 months old. I mean, we're constantly redefining and what we call tightening up these audiences so that we're getting lower conversion rates. I mean, like not lower conversion rates, but we're getting lower conversion cost, right? So, I mean, like it's costing us a lot less money to convert leads now because we're constantly creating a target-rich environment of people within our ads based on the people who are engaging. We teach you exactly how to do that in the Better Leads box. You know, we teach you exactly how to do that in the Better Leads box. You literally, I mean, we walk you through step by step how to build out those audiences and make sure your ads are only showing to people who are actual buyers. Our ads are only showing to people who are looking to make a buying decision in the next 30 days. That's our hottest audience. And, you know, and we teach you exactly how to identify that audience. Right? I mean, that's what you learn. You know, it's not just throwing up an ad to a perfect client anymore. It's not 3 years ago. You know, I mean, we've had millions of people hop into this world and it's not just guessing a perfect client, throwing an ad out there and hoping someone bites. It's not, you don't do that anymore. You know, what you're doing is you're doing this a very strategic way. You're doing this with data. It's very data proven. And then you're building a process around it. Yeah, getting the leads, one step, that's great. What are you going to do after you get the lead? Throw them through a sales process. Convert them. Once you convert them, what are you going to do? You're going to make them, they're stoked. They're just joined, right? So you're going to get them to then refer you people that they know. They're going to turn into raving fans. When they hear somebody at their work or at their job or one of their customers or one of their family members or one of their friends or whatever it might be, guess what? They're going to be telling them about you, which is then going to drive retention, drive more customers into this sales process. So you got 3 pillars. You're driving both the retention and the lead generation into the sales process. And that's exactly what we teach. In the Better Leads box, that's exactly the systems that we build for our private clients. How much do you spend on ads? It's 150% of whatever you're spending on your leads currently. That's typically how you start. That's a great starting point. That's what you typically don't know. You want to identify what that KPI is. So you want to identify how much are you spending on a lead during your best campaign. And then you want to, from there, and you want to make sure that you are then doing 150% and that you are identifying these 2 key elements. What is your goal? What is your target? And then after that, you know, what is the sales process that you're going to drive these people into? And that's why we're successful, is because we got a sales process behind it. We got a back end behind it. Not anybody talks about the back end. Everybody talks about the front end of stuff. The back end's where the money's made. The back end, the system is where the money's made. Not getting the leads and getting as many leads as you can. You want to go get leads, go buy leads for somewhere for $1,000. I mean, that's $100. You know, I mean, like, because then you're just going to sit there and you're going to call them. You know, we're all about putting together a system, consistently massaging these warm leads and focusing on these people who are looking to make a buying decision in the next 60 days. What we teach you guys, so that in the next 60 days, you take these bigger bucket of people, which is usually around 70 to 80%, and you dump them into that warm bucket the next month. But guess what? You've been massaging them and edifying yourself to them and indoctrinating them along the way. They're going to surrender to people they see the most. And that's going to be you. Anyway, I got to hop off here. I got a call with actually Brad here in a couple of minutes, so I got to hop on Zoom. But remember, 150%, 3 times your KPI divided by 2 is a great place to start. Another thing as well too is you want to make sure that you identify the 2 questions and you answer the 2 questions before you spend any money on advertising or even do any organic advertising at that point. And that is simply going to be, what is your goal or your target, and of course what is your sales process and how are you identifying that sales process. Again, this is Sydney here with the Better Leads Box, www.betterleadsbox.com. I'm going to hop on my call with Brad right now, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.